Right to this breaking news. Former CNN anchor Don Lemon is under arrest. He was taken into custody last night in Los Angeles. Sources telling CBS News the FBI and HSA were involved in the arrest. It's not clear what charges Lemon is facing, but last week a federal appellate court declined to order a lower court judge to sign arrest warrants for 5 people, including Lemon, in connection with that anti-ICE protest inside of a Minnesota church. Lemon says he was covering the protests inside the church and not taking part in it. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here we are, 6 a.m. on this Friday. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. So glad you're starting off your morning with us here on CBS 8. And we've had some pretty lovely days. Let's check in on our forecast. Meteorologist Evan Narani, moments away from a weekend for many people.
A gorgeous weekend.
Whether they work Friday or not, debatable.
On a Friday, half the town works half the day.
I was going to say, I mean, many people watching, they're probably like, I've got something to do between now and 7 a.m. And then it's the weekend.
Yeah,
what do you know? Happy Friday to you. If you are working over the course of the weekend, you're like us. We hope you're at least able to get outside at some point and enjoy the sunny skies. Today and tomorrow are those abnormally warm and dry days. Upper 70s out by the coast, mid 80s as we look inland. Here's that live look outside. Facing east from La Jolla, cloudless start to the day. Coming up, we're going to be talking about these temperatures exceeding normal by 10 to 20 degrees, and then about a change in the forecast that'll come toward the end of the weekend, cooling our temperatures down. Ned and Eric, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Evan. New information this morning after Chula Vista police shot and injured a man after a pursuit ending in Spring Valley. It started with a domestic violence call about 5:30 p.m. yesterday. Investigators say officers were in a parking lot when the suspect drove towards an officer who jumped out of the way. Police chased him until he crashed, and police say he got out, ran, and fired several rounds at police. 2 officers returned fire, hitting him in the leg. He's in the hospital now and is expected to survive. No officers were injured. Right now, La Mesa police are searching for a 24-year-old woman who's considered at risk. Take a look at her picture right here. Her name is Tiffany Russ. She was last seen leaving her room at the Heritage Inn on Fletcher Parkway just after midnight yesterday. Russ was reportedly headed to a nearby taco shop, but then never arrived. She was last seen wearing a blue headscarf, a black Puma sweater, black pants, and red sandals. Call police if you have any information. This morning, a Carlsbad teacher facing charges of possessing child pornography is expected to make his first court appearance. 55-year-old Joseph Anthony Zybert taught math at La Costa Canyon High School. The San Diego Union High School District sent out a statement saying he was placed on leave in September after they were notified about the investigation. And now a partial government shutdown could potentially start tonight. Senate Democrats and the White House struck a deal on a spending package that addresses the Democrats' concerns over ICE funding.
But lawmakers then left overnight without taking a vote. CBS 8's Jenny Day live in studio with more on this deal and where things stand here now. Jenny?
Yeah, so today is that deadline to avert another government shutdown. Democrats and some Republicans are pushing for reform to federal immigration enforcement. Tension remains high following the 2 recent shooting deaths of U.S. citizens at the hands of ICE agents there in Minneapolis. So under this tentative agreement, senators will vote as early as today on 5 bills to fund multiple government agencies through September. But a 6th bill funding the Department of Homeland Security, the agency that oversees ICE, would be removed. Funding would remain at current levels for 2 weeks, giving lawmakers more time to talk reform. Ideas on the table include tightening the use of warrants, ending roving patrols, requiring agents to be mask-free, have their body cameras on, and enforce a code of conduct comparable to state and local law enforcement. So the question is, will enough Republicans be on board to get the spending deal done and prevent this partial government shutdown?
We'll work in a very bipartisan way. I believe not to have a shutdown. We don't want a shutdown.
What ICE is doing outside the law is state-sanctioned thuggery, and it must stop.
Again, senators will be back on Capitol Hill this morning, but even if the bills pass, they would not go to the House of Representatives until Monday. That's why a partial government shutdown is still likely to begin at midnight, 9 p.m. our time. This comes, you know it, less than 3 months after the end of a record-long full shutdown. But this time, things like SNAP benefits are already funded for the rest of the year, but it could have an impact on air travel and federal workers getting getting their paychecks once again. Lawmakers, though, on both sides of the aisle really are hoping that that does not happen. You know, we'll keep you posted. Guys, back to you.
Jenny, thank you. Today, many small San Diego businesses will be closed in solidarity with a national strike to protest ICE. Organizers are dubbing it a national shutdown, calling for people across the country to not work, not show up for school, and not to shop. Organizers say, quote, the people of the Twin Cities have shown the way for the whole country. To stop ICE's reign of terror, we need to shut it down, end quote. The Hennepin County attorney, who oversees state prosecutions in Minneapolis, is still deciding whether to file criminal charges in the shooting deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. And nurses here in San Diego and across the country are rallying in Preddy's honor. He was an ICU nurse for the Minneapolis VA healthcare system. Demonstrators are demanding ICE be abolished.
It's crazy what's happening in our country, in America. It's wrong.
This is not the values of our country to have this kind of behavior.
ICE, as it is, needs to go. It's got to go.
This demonstration was held in front of the VA Medical Center in La Jolla last night.
Here we are now, 6:06 on a Friday morning, and the sun sets, the sun rises. I mean, wow.
And seeing even the moon on my way down Engineer today, it was big and bright. It doesn't look like it was a full moon quite.
No, it is a waxing gibbous, but it will be full on Sunday. So if you're going to be spending time outside on Sunday, you can enjoy the full moon. Things have been looking incredible out there. It is prime time to be watching the moon, watching the stars, whatever you got going on outside in the afternoon stretch. I mean, it's been gorgeous out there just to be able to soak in the more mild temperatures when temperatures do start to cool to the 60s toward that evening stretch. So please enjoy it out there over the course of the weekend. You can see this view getting increasingly brighter over the course of the morning here. 6:45 is sunrise. Here is what we see in Julian as far as your wind speeds go and wind direction, because that's a little bit more notable. Wind speeds are going to be climbing up to about 30 miles per hour, sustained speeds at 20 miles per hour, gusts around 30, and then you've got that offshore component. So that arrow helps tell the story of what we have going on in the atmosphere. Santa Ana offshore winds helping to bring that warm, dry air from over our local deserts toward the coastline, warming us up both along the coast and inland. Overnight, though, since it clears us out of all of our clouds, temperatures do tend to cool down, and that's where we're at to start off the day here. Grab the jacket as you head out the door. 40s and 50s outside right now. 48 in Escondido, 51 in Julian, and it is clear across the board. It's Friday. Get out to the Farmers Insurance Open. Torrey Pines is going to be gorgeous out there. Friday, today, 78 degrees. Tomorrow, 79. And then by Sunday, we'll start to see those clouds roll in just a little bit, and temperatures begin to cool, with Monday likely to be the cooler day in the forecast as onshore flow resumes. Not only are we going to see 70s, but a lot of our inland valleys will be in the 80s out there. 83 for Fallbrook and Escondido, 82 for Miramar, 85 for El Cajon. This is as other parts of the country are continuing to see a very cold weekend. New York City is at 3 degrees this afternoon. Detroit, 0 degrees. Chicago, 8. St. Louis, Missouri at 2 degrees. So it is just continuing this idea that San Diego is enjoying the warmest temperatures in the country, and that we should be grateful for the sunshine and the dry conditions that we have. Vanessa standing by, checking in on traffic to start off our Friday. Good morning.
Good morning. Overall, it looks like Friday light out there. Some good news if you are headed out the door anytime soon. I am tracking a little bit of slowing, not sure what it's caused from. This is on the 67 in both directions as you make your way to and from the lakeside area. Let's go ahead and see what else we're tracking. We got a 2-car crash, 805 South at Imperial. It looks like it's not causing any slowing though for folks making their way in from the South Bay. Right now, South Bay speeds on average about 65, 70 miles per hour, so no major issues there. If you're going across to Coronado Island, it looks like it'll speeds down to about 55, 60 miles per hour. No major issues coming in from Santee as well as La Mesa, the Grossmont Center area. Out of Oceanside, 75 mile per hour speeds, and here's what we're seeing coming in from Escondido down to the 15 towards Villa Rancho. Also not too bad. So yeah, this is a dream for a Friday. We're looking at pretty light drives across the county. Here's what it looks like on the 805 in both directions. That's at Northbound Drive headed in from the South Bay. Good amount of brake tapping there. And things are fairly light on the 15 in both directions right at Villa Rancho. All right, 6:10 is the time. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times for you and see what we're looking at. About an hour 10 to get you across from San Ysidro's port of entry. If you're traveling in from Otay Mesa's port of entry this morning, some improvement, about 40 minutes at last check.